Global warming. Global warming. It's happening. Rutger Hauer predicted it. What do you want from us?
Tony, I'm scared.
Hey guys, and welcome to Retro Review on Bloodstreams. This is typically a show where we will review horror films that you can stream right now. Our first retro review comes from the golden age of 1992. It's starring Rutger Hauer, R.I.P. It's called Split Second. Let's take a look.
Deep in the heart of a decaying city, Rutger Hauer is a cop that's out of control.
You ready to die?
In search of something he's encountered before.
Open up, police!
Something terrifying.
Speed doesn't care what it kills. You must have used a hatchet.
No, it's his hands. Something devastating.
I unloaded a full clip, 450 mag, point blank, disappeared.
The only thing they know
Show me your face! Don't move your head!
is that it isn't human.
It has the DNA structure of all its victims. It's got your DNA too.
And if they can't find it,
It's after me now, isn't he?
Out of my way!
it's going to find them. Rutger Hauer, Kim Cattrall. They've seen the future. Now, they have to kill it. Split Second.
We're gonna get bigger guns!
On video, it doesn't get any better than this.
Our first retro review. Now, okay, so Foamy the Squirrel, by the way, we're looking at you, bud. Foamy the Squirrel is one of our subscribers, and he made some excellent suggestions, and so one of them, we're not going to spoil it yet, but one of them will be our next retro review. So that goes for all of you. If you're watching and you want us to review a movie, please give us suggestions. There's a method to our madness, and we had planned on doing other films first, but then something happened, a terrible thing happened. One of our great heroes, Rutger Hauer, passed away. So R.I.P. Rutger Hauer. And in your memoriam, we decided that we wanted to pick a really cool 1992 vintage.
Yeah, that is classic now, considered.
It is. I know. I remember seeing this movie in the theaters when I was 12 years old, and it was like one of my favorite movies for a while. Split Second, starring Rutger Hauer. Before we get any further, because it's a retro review, we're going to spoil it. We're just going to get into it and have a lot of fun.
Get into it. 1992, you've had the time.
If you haven't seen this movie yet, I strongly recommend you do. I recommend you pause this video right now and you go to TUBI, where you can find not only this movie, but as I just discovered today, like horror movies alone, I'm like going through them all, and like I got to like 1023, and I'm like, I'm just gonna search for this damn movie. What is Split Second about, Lee? What is it?
Split Second is about Rutger Hauer being badass in 2008.
All the way in the future, the deep future.
The deep future, 2008. London has flooded.
Global warming.
Because of global warming. It was way ahead of its time.
They start this thing off like a noir, like a future noir movie, kind of like a la Blade Runner without, the Ridley Scott element. But the world is still really cool. Like, everything's flooded.
Yeah.
It's London, but everything's just really dark and dirty. There are some, like, pretty lights every once in a while, but it's flooded. And, like, talk about wet downs.
It's the future, so there's bondage clubs everywhere.
Everywhere, because that's what you do in the future. He's a real dick, man.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole. But they kind of like make it seem like there's this serial killer.
This entire movie, every day they showed up on set, instead of scripts, everyone got a piece of paper that was just covered in cocaine.
Yeah.
And they did the cocaine, and the director said action.
It felt like they started the cocaine in 1988.
Yeah.
And they just never really stopped doing it. And by the time they finally got around to shooting, they were just like, okay, someone give him some shoulder pads. Oh, I gotta say one thing, like, there's some cool guns. Because this movie, not only is it a horror movie, it's a noir detective movie, and it's just a badass action movie, too.
Yeah, with a horrible title.
With a horrible title, Split Second. It's just like the worst title.
I know why they called it that. It's because every split second another trope happens.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I don't even know where to start with the tropes. Yeah, the police chief who's played. I can't.
Really angry police chief.
She's really, and his whole job is just to yell at Harley Stone.
Harley Stone.
Yell at Harley Stone, and then when Harley Stone's not around, I respect that man, and I'll tell you why. And gives you his entire. He's the best. He's the best, but he'll give you a reason, and he'll tell you Harley's entire backstory because the audience needs to know that.
Yeah, because if they didn't, Kim Cattrall's character would come out of nowhere.
Right, exactly.
Because she really doesn't have an introduction or anything. She's just kind of there.
They talk about her. They talk about the fact that he lost his mind after his partner got killed by the serial killer, but he's strung out with guilt because while when his partner died, he was sleeping with his partner's wife behind his partner's back,
aka Kim Cattrall,
aka Kim Cattrall, and it's also kind of close to the anniversary of the partner's death, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, it's
a trope, so yeah,
it's gotta be right. Yeah, the chief has to assign a partner to him because he's like, I don't care how many rules you've broken, Stone. I don't care how many of my cigars you've stolen from my box on my desk,
how many doors you've kicked in.
Yeah, I don't have anybody else.
You're the best of the best.
So you are off suspension, my friend.
So you get this guy with no experience.
Yeah. although the partner, though he's got very little street experience.
He went to Oxford.
He's studied up on serial killers, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the movie The Last Action Hero, basically we're like, let's make a comedy about this movie.
Someone saw that and was like, we can make a kids movie out of this.
Yeah. Let's talk about the monster for a second.
The monster is really badass. It's essentially a mixture, body-wise, of the Terminator and Alien.
Yeah, kind of.
With
he's naked,
except for a visor.
But he's got these really great long claws. He's got the he looks kind of like Venom. Actually, it sounds like we're making fun of this monster. It was actually really, really cool.
No, it's really well done.
It was really refreshing to see it, and they also don't show a lot of it. The way they pace out showing the monster, it was really, really really good.
It just goes so out of control.
Yeah,
There's no structure or anything.
It's so formulaic though.
Yeah.
It's totally formulaic.
I guess, it's literally like
you've seen any detective movie, it's that detective movie. But then there's
an alien monster,
like an alien monster
that uses a shotgun in one scene.
Yeah, that's another thing that's cool about this monster. He's got 12-inch claws, right? I mean, this dude can't. I don't see how he can open a door
through steel doors.
He can
show it happen.
He just rips into people's hearts. He steals the hearts. Why does he steal the hearts? Because he wants to swallow their soul. Never heard of that.
Yeah, he wants to swallow their soul.
And he takes their DNA.
Also get their DNA. Not for nefarious purposes, I'm assuming. I think he's about to team up with Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook.
Right.
And be like, I've got their DNA
he's
for
just
sale,
he's
Mark.
Collecting, yeah. He's like the Boba Fett of the social media world.
And Rutger Hauer, he comes into the room and the monster's like, my claws are no match for Rutger Hauer. Right. I need a shotgun. Why do you need a shotgun if you're that strong?
Right.
Also, they show that you can shoot him over and over and over again and it doesn't kill him.
It doesn't seem to kill him.
So why is he worried about fighting two guys with guns?
Well, because we needed to have a scene where Rutger Hauer closes in on the monster and then very gracefully just starts jumping over the furniture.
Exploding furniture.
He's like, the couch, gone. The kitchen table, gone. The TV on top of the stand.
And honestly, the way they do it, too, it's not like the monster's aiming for that. Mm-hmm. It's like Rutger Hauer gives away his position by leaping, and then the monster shoots too late. Over here!
Yeah, over here. Kill this piece of furniture. Every scene in this movie, I mean, if you're taking it seriously, then you maybe you won't enjoy it, but
then you're on cocaine.
And I don't know. God knows what this movie would be like on cocaine. It's probably
it'd probably be like watching My Dinner with Andre on the level.
I'm on the level with this. When's something going to happen? Literally every line of dialogue it's movie dialogue. There's no grounding in reality at all, and that's why I kind of like this movie. This. Okay, what was it? Boar that we talked about, where it would go to this ludicrous level, and then it would get really serious and quote unquote real for a while.
Yeah,
this movie stays on the ludicrous side the entire time. It has a great time doing it.
Yeah, it reminded me of another Rutger Hauer movie, Hobo with a Shotgun. It's that kind of just totally insane the entire time. Yeah. Only instead of being a hobo with a shotgun, he's like a Terminator-esque detective.
Yeah. He's like even dressed like he's dressed like the Terminator. Like when he first walks into the police station, like everyone's like in their Bobby uniforms or like a detective, like just in normal plain clothes, and then he just comes in with these glasses, always
Little,
smoking
like,
a
John
cigar.
Lennon glasses.
Yeah, John Lennon, this like this leather trench coat where the shoulders just go down to the elbows.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just hanging off him. Right? And he's just strapped with these great guns. Like his gun, his handgun cannon
is as iconic as Han Solo's blaster.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like it would give RoboCop's gun a run for its money. Once we start getting kind of used to that gun, he and Dick, who now is slowly becoming
Harley Stone.
Becoming Harley Stone 2.0.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck the chief's orders. We're gonna go kill this thing.
Oh, also, Rutger Hauer has a strange, like, way to talk to dogs, apparently.
Oh, yeah, he can talk to dogs.
I love it.
Yeah.
There needs to be more of that in movies.
Yeah,
it's just absurdity.
It's a classic time in filmmaking. It's that era of, like, where the 80s movie has just gotten so ludicrous, but it's like, it's starting to dip into the 90s now, right?
Yeah.
And things are starting to change, but this has got a lot, like, to me, this felt way more like an 80s sci-fi adventure movie.
In a way, it's like the death rattle of the awesome 80s action sci-fi.
Yeah, with a great horror element.
With a great
this monster is a legit monster.
A lot of the sci-fi action movies of the 80s had horror in it. I feel like it seems like we're dogging on this movie. I'm a huge fan of this movie.
No, man, I love it.
And also, nothing beats Rutger Hauer's delivery of lines.
Oh, dude, forget about just his lines. Like, he'll just do, like, these random looks.
He's so brilliant in this movie.
Yeah.
He's brilliant in everything he does, but he manages to keep up with the insanity of this movie.
Totally, man. Totally.
And it seems like it must have been exhausting.
I mean, Rutger Hauer is like one of the quintessential badasses of our time.
He really is. Underrated, too.
Oh, yeah, but this movie, though, might be the quintessential Rutger Hauer badass movie.
Yeah, it felt like Last Action Hero with a little bit of Alien and a little bit of Terminator.
Right.
And then it was all directed by the Zucker brothers. That's how I would describe this movie.
That sounds pretty cool, if you ask me.
Yeah,
that's the movie I want to see.
Ever.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's so good.
Split Second, man.
Split Second. Guys, check out Split Second. It's on TUBI. R.I.P. Rutger Hauer. If you don't know who Rutger Hauer is, Google that shit and watch everything he's ever done.
I looked up his IMDb last night, and I mean, I knew he'd been in 100,000 movies, but he's like literally in 100,000 movies. More people need to be aware about this movie.
Yeah, people need to see this movie.
Yeah, if you just want a ruckus of a good time that's got some scares, got some action, and a lot of really corny but well-delivered dialogue, Split Second, all the way. And so, yeah, that's our retro review. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, murder the notification bell. Just strangle it right by its, brass top. I don't know. Oh, by the way, we're starting to catch up on this whole social media thing. We're finally on Facebook.
Make sure to go to facebook.com/BoxBrosHorror. That'll take you to our Facebook page. Why don't you like it? Why don't you follow it? It won't hurt you any.
Maybe it will.
Guess that's it.
What am I supposed to do? Put out an APB on some fucking guy who looks like the devil, answers to the name of Lucifer? Yeah, and you!